There we go. We're recording. Okay, so hi everybody. Welcome to the second week of the college series. Today we're going to be talking about Easy Does It, Fast Meals in a Flash. And I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Jestine Argueza. I'm one of the registered dietitians here at Therapeutic Oasis, and we're located in Boca Raton. And we also have Christie and Nicole, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi guys, Christie Caggiani. Yes, I work with Jess, one of the dietitians at Oasis, and we work a lot with all kinds of disordered eating. We work with eating disorders. We work a lot with young adults and the full age range, but we really love working with young adults. So this has been a project that we've talked about for a long time, and Nicole, who's introducing next, has actually been really instrumental in helping us launch this little project. So go ahead, Nicole.
Hi guys, I'm Nicole. I'm a senior right now at UF. I'm graduating in the spring with a biology degree, and then I'm gonna do a 5th year to get a dietetics degree. So right now I'm just helping Christy and Jess as like a dietetics intern, and I myself am trying to learn more about intuitive eating and getting better at that with you guys. So I'm really excited.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to get started. And also the videos that you will be seeing today, Nicole actually put them together. So yes, they're great.
Yeah.
So we have our little disclosure here. I don't know if you guys were here last week, but the information presented here is for informational and educational purposes only. It's not a substitute for individual medical or mental health advice, and it doesn't constitute a patient-provider relationship. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. All right, so cooking is easier than you think. I know, being a college student, you might think like, oh, it's really hard, or you have to be a chef or something like that. That's not the case. So you're totally in charge of the menu, which is really, really cool. So you want to really just eat what you love, eat what you like. And it's really important for you to be creative, and it actually helps to build like cooking skills. So you don't need a lot of time in the kitchen or in your dorm room. All you need is like 30 minutes tops. And it's really, really simple, and it can be really, really easy. So something that I always encourage people to do is to combine different ingredients. And of course, you want them to be foods that you enjoy. So stuff like combining different foods, or even like different herbs or spices. And that way you can make it very tasty. And also something that could be really, really helpful and also fun is to actually incorporate like having it like with doing it with your friend. So you guys can be in the kitchen or in the dorm room and actually making, these foods together. And something that's also really, really helpful is to make extras, because you'll have leftovers and you can freeze them. You can have them for a snack later. You can have them for lunch the next day, or even dinner, especially if you're like busy studying and again, you don't have a lot of time. So cooking is easier than you think. All right, so now we're gonna move on to our video that I mentioned with Nicole. So hopefully you guys can hear this. That looked really good. So that recipe, like I said, it was created by Nicole, and it's actually an easy vegetarian enchilada. So this literally probably took less than 10 minutes. I know she had to like get all the ingredients out. And the best part about this is it doesn't have to be like a vegetarian enchilada. You can make it your own. So I do have some suggestions here. So you can individualize your enchilada and you can add different things. So it could be like a chicken enchilada. You can add fish there or meat. There's like different fats that you can add. So like avocado, cheese, and different types of carbs. And also, you know, when you're creating your meal, your an entree should include 2 or 3 sides to make it a complete meal. So you can, like she had on the video, like having some chips, maybe some chips, guac, and fruit. So having like a really complete meal is really, really important. It'll help you stay satisfied longer. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that video. I really liked it. So let's move on to the next video. All right. Awesome. So that was a very simple salmon dish that Nicole created. And something that's really, really cool about this specific salmon dish is you can actually get like really creative and you can use like different condiments. I think Christy was like, oh, what about like Chick-fil-A sauce? And that, I know that's like a great idea. So like Chick-fil-A sauce, teriyaki, barbecue, you can like jazz it up and make it your own. So whatever sauce you like, you can like put that on there and it can like turn into like something completely different. And also, I know you noticed like this time we kind of had, we use like a toaster oven. So like a toaster oven, it actually heats and cooks quicker than a regular oven. So they basically can do the same thing. And also, you can also use like the microwave. There's you know that other option too, because it cooks like most foods. And here are some other simple sides that you can add to it. So we have like different carbs, we have some fats, and here's like a, you know, a nice little plate for you. So you can have like all of your components there. Okay, so now we're actually going to move on to the intuitive eating piece. So we have like the cooking first, and then now we have the intuitive eating. So the first intuitive eating principle, which you probably heard us talk about a little bit last week, is rejecting the diet mentality. So like, what's wrong with dieting? Why should I reject diet thinking? So the most important thing is after you're restricting on a diet, you can become like out of control when you're eating. So it can cause like a lot of stress, feelings of failure, lowers your self-esteem and your self-confidence. And for the most part, it can actually lead to an eating disorder. And also you can have like an increased social, and you can have an increase in social anxiety. So not wanting to eat around people, make me feel awkward, having like, it actually reinforces body negativity rather than promoting like body positivity. And also something that I feel like people don't really know is that it actually slows down your metabolism. So it does the opposite of what you're trying to do. So that's like something that's really, really important. So basically, dieting will make you miserable. That's the bottom line. It will make you miserable. So I don't recommend it.
All right, so this is a cool, well, it's actually a really amazing study. They did this study back after World War II. And what they were trying to do is determine how to refeed concentration camp victims once they were freed. Like Like what they've been on a restrictive diet. So what do we do? Do we just feed them and send them on their way, or what do we do? So they actually took 36 healthy, physically healthy, mentally healthy, emotionally stable college guys. So your peers, totally healthy, no pre-existing conditions. And they put them on a restricted diet, which was, believe it or not, around 1,700 calories. It was it was comparable to what they were eating in a concentration camp, which in our minds, we hear 1,700 calories and we think, oh, that sounds like a big number. It's not. And that's actually what a lot of people were eating when they were prisoners. So they fed men that limited amount of food and they watched what happened. They became obsessed with food. They played with their food. They became anxious, depressed, really irritable. It screwed up their sleep. They lost muscle mass. They binged. Their overall physical health declined, and they started thinking about food all the time. If there was Food Network, they would have been watching. They cut out pictures from books of food. And it really had extreme and some fairly long lasting physiological and psychological effects. And so that's with, close to 2,000 calories a day. So basically, if you're under eating, you're not meeting your needs, it's going to alter your brain, it's going to affect your body. So that's the quick summary.
Thank you. So give yourself a break. Something that you can do is cultivate self-compassion. And self-compassion is simply having a neutral but understanding consideration of yourself and your actions. And research has actually shown that having self-compassion actually helps overcome guilt with like eating choices, because individuals don't actually criticize or bully themselves for having these things. So cultivating self-compassion is something that could be really helpful. And also checking in with yourself. So you want to just take inventory of like how diet culture has interfered with your life. And so something that we usually kind of talk to clients about is like social media. I know that's like a really big part of like college students and also like teens, like they're always on social media. So something that, we've talked about before is, checking in with yourself. Like, how do you feel after being on social media? Like, do you feel like anxious? Do you feel like inadequate? And if that's the case, you're probably following people that are like toxic for you. So it might be helpful to unfollow these people, or put them on mute if they're like family members, because sometimes it can be like our own family that's involved in like this diet culture and diet talk. So it could be helpful to do that. And also maybe like filling up your feed with people that promote like body positivity and that are not focused on diet or diet culture.
So the second principle that we're touching on is honoring your hunger, which again, we touched on a little bit last week. And usually when we think of being hungry, we think our stomach growls, we feel empty. And that actually is the case. If we're eating on a regular basis, our stomach will tell us when it's time to eat. If we're eating erratically, we're going long periods of time, we skip breakfast, we ignore snacks, we actually stop feeling hunger signals on a regular basis. So first thing is to make sure you're eating on a regular basis, not going longer than those 3 to 4 hours. And notice what your body starts to tell you physically. You might start getting a little dizzy. You might start feeling weaker, but you also might just notice your food thoughts and your brain starts to get a little off when you're hungry. So that's one of the first places we notice hunger show up is in our head. So when we stop losing concentration and focus and we get irritable, the first thing is to check how long it's been since you've eaten and eat. And this is, although I don't love scales, like actual scales that people step on, I love this scale. This is the main scale that I suggest people use. So it's called the Hunger Fullness Scale. You may have seen something like this before, but it's very subjective. This is a way that you can check in with yourself and figure out where you are on that spectrum. It's like a continuum. And we never go from stuffed to hungry just like that. It's a continuum, and it moves gradually in between. But when we're eating in an irregular pattern, which can happen really easily when you're at school and you've got different, it's really different again than when you're in high school. Your schedule every day right now is different. So it can affect your hunger and fullness signals. So one is being so hungry that you don't even feel it, or you're actually maybe dizzy. You might be a little bit numb. You don't even know if you want food. And 10 is so stuffed that you actually feel almost sick. And where we kind of want to aim is in that 3 to 7-ish area. So 3 is I'm hungry, it's time, food sounds good, I'm going to eat. 7 is and each scale is a little bit different. This scale says slightly uncomfortable. Often I'll say 7 is kind of like just right. 8's getting full. So you want to be sort of in those greenish yellowish areas on a general basis. We all get too full sometimes. We all get too hungry sometimes. That's normal. But as a general rule of thumb, we want to try to stay in those areas. Once we start going under a 3, we start really having a hard time making food decisions, or it's one of those things where if you've gone out to eat and you're trying to decide what to order, and you're looking at you look at the menu and you want everything and then you don't want anything, that usually means you're over hungry. So just being aware of that and being tuned in to what your signal and your numbers are is a really helpful gauge.
All right, so what's coming up? So this is week 2. Next week is week 3. So we have cheap, so low budget meals. And then we have painless plan and prep for week 4. And then move it, joyful movement and fueling your workouts. And then the last week, week 6, we have brain food. So food, mood, and study fuel. So that's coming up.
All right, and so a couple other things for you guys to look into. We were talking about social media earlier. This is some social media I would suggest you guys follow. If you follow Therapy Oasis, that's us on Instagram or Facebook. We post things on there all the time, just stuff about overall mental health as well as great nutrition tips. And well, you're going to get the email link with the presentation today, and the videos will be in there for the recipes. On our social media, we're also looking to post just those cooking videos. So if you just want to see that part, check that out there as well. So, and then the other college cookbooks that we mentioned last week, there are a couple of cool ones on here, and Mindful Eating 101. All right. So any questions or thoughts today, or anything you need clarified? I will say that the enchilada recipe is a really good one. You could literally do a whole package of tortillas and do it in a Pyrex and have them left over. And they actually, whatever you have left, if you're sick of them after 2 days, you can freeze them. They freeze really well too.
Yes.
I actually didn't tell you guys this, but well, today I have classes from 8 in the morning until 3, like back to back. And I had like a 10-minute break for lunch and I made the enchiladas. So
Go, that's awesome.
Any other thoughts or any